Everybody, thank you so much for coming. As you're aware by now, earlier this morning, we received a copy of an order from the Honorable Roger Young. We had a hearing back on March 14th, 2024. During our hearing, we requested that the charges against Megan and Vic be dismissed. We were very fortunate today that we got a copy of the order from the judge dismissing the charges against both Megan and Vic. Specifically, they were dismissed with prejudice. Not to sound coy, but in the words of the immortal poet's Outcast, it's dismissed forever, ever. So it's never coming back. We're very excited about that. I wanted to take some time to thank a couple of people who are very important. My associate, Jack Furs, Joseph Good, who represented Mr. Turner, who sadly is not able to be here today, Pete Surratt, my investigator, but most importantly, along with everybody else in my office, but most importantly, the University of Virginia School of Law. There's a professor there. If you get a chance, you need to get in touch with her. Deidre Enright, she's a professor of law. This entire thing started, of course, it started 35 years ago when they were arrested. But as I was sitting in my office one Sunday getting ready for this hearing, I got a random email from a very intelligent professor who contacted us and told us about the chances of a serial killer having some involvement in this case. It started a whirlwind of looking into information as what has possibly happened. If you get a chance to read the order, the judge does mention Mr. Evidence, the serial killer who we believe had everything to do with this case. But the case was dismissed basically because sheriff after sheriff after sheriff participated in a systematic process of tunnel vision. I joked with the Turners earlier, it was just like when we were children playing that game Telephone, where one sheriff after another would whisper a rumor in the next one's mind, and then the next one would say it, and the next one would say it, and the case was not based upon any evidence. It was based upon the rumors and innuendos of sheriffs who decided that these were the individuals who did something but didn't look into it. I saw the sheriff's statement earlier today when he says that the reason that the case has been dismissed is because the vagaries of time. The nicest way I can say this is that's just not damn true. And he can say whatever he wants to say. This case is dismissed because it was a bad case. This case is dismissed because it was poorly looked into. This case is dismissed because they did not take the time, energy, and effort and do it the right way. I have nothing but compliments for the South Carolina Solicitor's Office, the Ninth Circuit, not for the fact that they didn't dismiss the case, but because they did what solicitors' offices should do. They gave us all the evidence. They let us look into the case in our own detail. They didn't hide anything. They didn't keep anything from us. They said, this is the case, this is the evidence, whether it's good or whether it's bad, and you figure it out. That's all I can ever ask from a solicitor's office, so I cannot thank them enough. But to read a statement and say that this case is dismissed just because it was old, I'm sorry, it's just not true. This case is dismissed because it wasn't a good case. It's never been a good case. For 35 years, Megan, specifically Megan, has been living with this. She hasn't been able to mourn. She hasn't been able to talk. She hasn't been able to say a word because every sheriff, one after another, has systematically made a decision that they've done something that they can't prove. And rather than taking 2 seconds and say, let's look at this case in a different angle, they didn't. So I wasn't going to say anything about that statement, but when I read it candidly, it just made me upset. But this isn't about me, which is something I thought I'd never say before, but this isn't about me. Megan and Vic have never had opportunity to talk, and so they're here if you want to ask them any questions. And I think they should have the right to finally say what they want to say about what's happening. Because when I called Megan this morning and told her about the order, she couldn't stop crying. And that's just something amazing to deal with. So
tell me why you were crying.
Go ahead, Megan.
I'm just glad it's over with. It's been 30-some years coming. I'm sorry. It's been over 30 years. We haven't been able to talk. We've been under suspicion. And our life has just been a hell over all of this.
What did you want to say when you say you couldn't talk? What were the things you wanted to share?
We couldn't say anything. The investigation, when it first started, everything went so wrong. We couldn't ever say anything. We couldn't say anything because if we said anything, they tried to turn it against us. And everybody's always asking, why didn't you talk? Why didn't you talk? We were instructed not to ever talk, not to say anything because we were under suspicion. Because this investigation from day one went so bad.
Who do you think did it?
I don't know.
Victor, do you know who?
I feel like they've done a very poor case. in the very beginning when they were there the whole time. There was no way we were away from the law. And all I can say is, I'm glad that it's over with, but now we really won't never know too much. And all I wanted was to get it done as far as getting the person that done it. But when you turn around and you have to fight, or you gotta worry about what they say, and it doesn't get the truth out, what else is there to do? You gotta hope that they're gonna turn around and start looking other places, but they didn't. They did not. They just kept going in the same direction no matter what for 35 years. And it's been hard, and I'm glad it's over with as far as that goes, but I'm still sad because I still don't know nothing. But I'm sad about it. And that's all I can say right now. But I'm glad that I can hold my head up a little bit.
It's good. It's good.
What do y'all want to say in response to the people who do think that y'all are guilty? What do y'all want to say to those people?
I don't know.
We didn't do it. Every little thing that came up, everybody tried to point in our direction. Nobody looked at the actual facts. It was like a decision was made from day one, and that's the only way it went. And, you know, people never heard our side of the story. They never saw our side of the story. And you've got a serial killer out there that possibly could be the person who did it, but he was never looked at or investigated. So we were always the ones under suspicion.
Tell us a little bit about Justin. What do y'all remember about him?
Oh man, my child. He was a happy person. I enjoyed him all the time. We even had a horse. We rode together. Even bought pets for him. And he had a dog and a goat. Yeah. But someone took that away from him and took him away from me. Or us. And that's hard to deal with.
How do you explain a lot of the issues that have been brought up over the years, regarding this case, all the things that people have been saying kind of led to them believing that you guys were responsible?
I don't know how they turned around and kept going on that. I wish they would have looked and done a better job at the very beginning. Because they had all the information right there.
There is no evidence against us. They have no evidence against us. It was all, like Sean said, hearsay, innuendos. I believe this. It was all rumors. I mean, there never was any evidence.
Are y'all still looking for justice?
Yes. Yes.
And my understanding is the camper was locked, right?
And no, it was unlocked. It had never been locked. And the lock was there for when we got ready to use it, which we never got ready to use it yet because we were working with it and everything. So that camper was never locked. And I even turned around and said they could have the camper to look things over with, but they said, no, we don't need that.
Who all had a key?
Just the two of us.
We had a key that was hanging on the wall or something other. It's like all the other keys that you have. You have a place to put the keys. But no, it wasn't locked.
What's next for y'all?
Oh, really? What is there?
Going home and taking a deep breath, I guess. I don't know. We got to try to move on. We've been living like this for 30-some years. I mean, hopefully we can mourn and get some peace.
That's all I can say is hopefully we got to be able to move on. I'm relieved that this part is over with, but there's still other things that are still available, vague. and I hope that it will come out. But I don't know if it ever will. But I'm hoping it will. It's been a long time coming, and I think all this has been done.
And I know one of the things the sheriff was talking about, how you guys never reached out to the sheriff's office and asked them to continue searching for who was responsible.
We couldn't.
Okay.
Our attorney advised us to do not talk to anyone, don't say anything. So we did what was our attorney told us to do.
Yeah,
And that was the reason we never called, we never asked, because we couldn't.
every time we started to say something,
It would get turned around.
It
or
get turned around.
construed.
They pick and choose what they wanted to say about you.
So they told us don't say anything to nothing about nobody. Just try to live your life, and you know.
But you always had things hanging over your head there.
What about your family members? The ones who were somewhat suspicious. What's your response to those?
They're crazy.
You're not close with them?
You have to know them.
Megan, you said that you had to try to live your life as best as y'all could. What did that look like within the last 30 years?
Scared to talk to people. Not
No.
want. I mean,
Nobody that I
couldn't
knew.
be friends with people because you were scared they were going to find out all this bad stuff about you that wasn't true.
And then you
I
turn-
changed my name, trying to get from under the suspicion. I still hate to go anywhere and somebody go, "What's your name?" I hate to answer my name. I mean, it's just been a living hell.
But you turn around and you know these people for 30 years, but yet they don't know you. They turn around and they distance you when something like this ever happens. They're easy to,
The press has killed us where we live.
yeah.
We live in a small community, and it's bad. Press has really hurt us.
People don't turn around and know you, and you think they know you, but they don't. They just turn around and stab you.
So who is y'all's support system in this trying time?
Mainly my sister
My brother,
and his brother.
my sister-in-law,
Yeah,
my nieces,
just
And
close
nephew.
family.
they're close to me.
How do y'all feel about law enforcement now?
No. Law enforcement may have some good people in there, but I think there's a lot of bad people in there too. And I think there's a lot of bad people making a lot of bad decisions. And they're making it hard for the good people. Yeah. But it makes me worry about them. Makes me worry.
While this has been implied, has law enforcement failed y'all?
I think they have. I think they failed us at the beginning of all this has happened.
Any other thoughts?
Not at this time.
No, just prayers that everything moves on and everybody gets peace, and hopefully justice get justice one day. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.